210 right hand door. Just gonna strike out the latch, push the clamp down, brings down the pinch points to hold the door. Makes it up against the stop. Both sides here. Let go, stays in place. Turn the button on. Down the danger point, cut yourself, keep fingers away. Turn it on, go back. Go. Come over there and look. When it's doing is routing out the circuit. Turn it off, let it stop. Press the latch. That's what it looks like. About 3/4 of the way down. Alright. Good. I'm gonna start off making a 210 right hand. So here's your measurements. You got your buttons here. This brings it up and down fast, up and down slow. We're gonna bring it down from a 3/0 to a 210. Go down fast. If you look here, it's gonna be just under the line, touching. So now you're set up for a 210. Now taking your 210 door, by bringing it down, looking at it, right way, bringing it down, each side there's a slight angled bevel at a 3°. You want the high point of the bevel facing the machine, whatever way you're making a door. So if we're doing a right hand, all my red stops on the machine is all for your right hands, all the yellows are for your left. Because I'm doing it right, I want the bevel facing the machine. So I'm going to angle it down where the top of the bevel is facing the machine. Slide it in. Make sure the top of the door is at the stop, the skinnier side of the two. And you want to make sure it's up against the stop all the way. Clamp it, holds the door in place. Now with the jamb, there's two sides of the jamb. You're going to use the skinnier side facing the door. So you don't clamp it so the door is loose. Slide the jamb in. It locks it in place. And you want to push to the white stop for these doors. Once the door is up against the stop and the jam's up against the stop, then you can clamp it in. From this point, you take this machine, this mechanism is the router. This button here releases it, we'll drop it up and down. Then you have this button here that brings my jam up and down. You want to make sure your jam's all the way down. And if you look here, I have a red stop for all my right hand doors. This piece, groove sits on this, on the dot. And then it's in place. Then you're going to clamp the door. After you clamp your door, before you do anything else, make sure you have your glasses on. There's a button here. This button here turns on the router. Also, in this, there's a mercury safety shut-off in here. When the router is on, and I lift it up, it'll shut it off. This is an injury point. Keep your fingers, hands, toes, eyes, anything away from that. Once that's in place, clamp it. Now this is a guide where it won't let you go further past the door, so you can make where it'll stop so you can put your hinges. Once that's in place, you turn it on, and then you pull forward and route out. You're gonna lift this up to bring the jam up all the way. You're gonna see here, you're gonna make sure it's touching. Once it's touching, you can route out the jam. And this is what it leaves. So you do that on 3 times on all the stops. that is done, then you go on to the next step. I'm just gonna use satin nickel for now. Usually it's whatever the job is, because this is a temp door to show. I'm just gonna go with satin nickel. Put it on the spot, make sure the jam is all the way up once again. Once that's up, set the hinge in place, and you're gonna grab this one that pre-drills the holes. So this is to turn it on. There's a lot of torque on here. You just push down on the hole. Do it all three on all three. That's that. Next thing we're gonna do, we're gonna put the screws in the hinges. I just hand start them. Then we're going to take the screw and driver, and operates the same way as that one. This is the screw, the tighten. Hold this button in and push this, loosens. So it's going to tighten them all. And that concludes the hinge prep. We're going to bore out and latch out the doorknob and the latch. In here, we have two drill. This one right here on the machine itself drills out the doorknob, and then this one drills out the striker, the latch on the doorknob itself. Okay. To operate that, you have a clamp button here that clamps the door, keeps it tight, and then you have a drill button that releases the drill in and out. And then you have a drill button here to turn on your drill. So you want to make sure the clamp's open. Door goes on. Once again, make sure it's butted up. The door is butted up against the stop. Now you want to clamp it. Once it's clamped, you want to turn the drill on. You'll hear it turn on and start spinning. Next, put your glasses on. And then you're going to press the clamp for drill. What it does is, like I said, it's drill out the hole and the striker. Watch your fingers. It's also a danger point. There is guards over it, but it's still a danger point. Once that is done drilling out, you won't hear anything happen. You press the off button. Stop. You hear it stop slowing down. Next step, you want to unclamp it. Once it's unclamped, you want to slide it over to this machine. This router will route out the striker for the striker on the doorknob. You pull it forward. It won't turn on. You'll see the guide into the doorknob. You want to make sure that's in the middle of it. Once that's in place, you want to hold it towards you to the left. Then you're going to turn it on by pressing this button on the top. Once it turns on, it's going to clamp it to the machine. The router's going to come up, and then it's going to start striking it out. Once you're done, you just press the button again. It'll unclamp, let it slow down. Let it die down. Once again, that is a danger point. Once you take the door off the machine, careful you don't grab here. You want to slide the door where the doorknob is in the middle of these two rollers. And you want to pick it up using your legs, not your back. and you bring it to the table. Doing a 210 door, like I said at the beginning, whatever the door is for the header of the jam, it needs to be 3/16 of an inch longer. So if it's a 210, it has to be 2 foot 10 and 3/16 of an inch, which I already cut. That's for the header piece. This is the striker side that we already striked out. Once again, on the thin side of the machine of the jam. This goes on the striker side. I grabbed 2 stickies. Yeah. I usually put a sticky on the thin side at the top, not all the way, and then the left side on here. Okay. Next step you do is you take it and line up the striker on the jam and on the door. Line it up, put the door on the jam itself. That's that. You want to make sure when you put the header in, the stop is touching the door on the jam and on the header. Once that is in place, take the brad gun of the staples and I'll go on this side first. I usually start off by putting one at the top on each side. Once that's done, I pull the door, get a better angle at the rest of the nails, and it comes out this hole right here. This is your safety. If this is in and you pull the trigger, it'll keep shooting. You don't want to make sure it's in, you want to make sure it's out. Push it in on the door, pull the trigger. I usually put 4, 1 in each groove. On both sides. Alright. Another thing to watch out for is when you're doing it, you want to make sure I don't have the air in so it won't shoot. Make sure this piece, to the nail, the staple comes out of this hole right here. So you want to make sure it's not over the door. Because that will, if you're holding a jam here, it will shoot and it will go into your hand. So you want to make sure this is completely on the door. And look on this side. Pretty much, you want to keep them all going into the thing. You don't want to be down here. You want to kind of be, in this area. Okay, next step, push it so it's overhanging on the other side. Then you grab some, we call them cleats like this. What it does, it protects the bottom of the jam so it doesn't get damaged during install. Then you just take the blue gun, it's just another staple gun, just a little smaller, and you're just gonna nail it to the jam. Just one staple, right in the middle. 1 on both sides. 2, keep your hands away. You hit a knot, it'll shoot out, up, down, left or right, so just kind of hold it, in the middle so your hands are free from it. There's 1 there. One there. Put 2 nails in the door. The purpose for the nails is just to keep the door shut so it's not opening when they're trying to install it or just transport wise in general. So next thing you do, you come back up here, make sure the 2 stops are touching. The jam is all the way like touching the door. Anywhere along this jam, height wise, is where you can put the nail. Kind of keep it about an inch down, because they put casing on it and they need to pull the nail out. And you just bang it. Like I said before, you gotta make sure this is flush, not touching. I usually hold it here to keep everything from moving. And just put the nail in until you get to the first stop on the nail, right here. Then once again, another nail down here, about the same thing down, about an inch down. That is that.